We are doing take two of why cholesterol isn't the whole story here. We're going to have this conversation today, and I hope my audio works. So, if you were here last week with me, there were some of you live, and some of you actually sent me DMs on or sent the team DMs on Substack. That I had recorded this. I went all day long and worked with patients all day on Tuesday. And then I got back to a ton of messages saying, hey, there was no audio. Can you send me the audio when it is live? And I'm like, ooh, did not know it did not record the audio. So take two. We are going to welcome to my home office where my kids do homeschool. They're actually cleaning the kitchen and they're finding stuff in the pantry from 2014. I don't have any excuse for that at all. So they're finding stuff from 2014 and they are entertained. My dogs are here. I have two Great Dane Mastiff mixes and I have a Great Dane puppy. And so you may hear them in the background and I apologize, but we live here and this is where we do things. But I want to actually start the conversation again of why cholesterol isn't the whole story. So those of you that are here live, I am so grateful for you. If you are watching on replay, I am so grateful for you. Pretend that you are watching this live and actually leave comments on this video training as we go, because then that allows us to help you and be more engaged and support you exactly where you are. Okay, so that is kind of how we do things inside the Wilderness of Wellness. So I want to extend that in here, that as we're talking, we chat. Our behaviors are that we chat in the chat while I'm teaching and while I'm talking, so that I can support you and so forth. So if you're on replay, leave the comments down below as you're writing as well, so that we can get those to you and support you as well. So I have my water. Are you guys ready? We're gonna take the next 30 minutes or so and hang out together, maybe a little bit longer. We'll see how this goes. All right. So I just want to welcome you again. If you are brand new to me, I am Dr. Danielle. I'm a Jesus-loving naturopathic doctor, and I believe that God did not create our bodies on accident, and I don't believe that He created cholesterol on accident either. So this month we've been talking about heart health this month, and this month is all about heart health here in this space, not the American Heart Association's month, but this is our space where we are talking about heart health, due to it being my dad's birthday month. And so he is my reason why I really, if I can just can help one family not have to deal with heart disease and diabetes and high cholesterol and all of those that downplay or whatever, that is what I would have done everything I'm supposed to do. And I'm so grateful that I have the opportunity to do this and stand and sit here with you today. So in this session, this is open to everybody. This is not just for my paid folks, although tomorrow I'm going live, I believe at 4 o'clock tomorrow, for my paid folks, where you get more interaction with me and more support from me. And so I want to make sure that you understand that when you do join me closer proximity, you get more support. So you can actually join my paid Substack by just hitting the upgrade button above. It's on Letters from the Wilderness, and then you just hit upgrade, and you can totally upgrade into paid. Right now, I'm running a special. If you join me for paid, annual or annual or monthly, you get a 20% coupon for joining the Wilderness of Wellness. And if you join the Wilderness of Wellness, you also get a 20% coupon off of that. Or you get a 20% coupon off of the Wilderness of Wellness, but your subscription there, get a 30-minute free consultation valued at $220 with one of my clinicians. And so that way you know for sure that you are getting the right support you need. See, we offer healthcare here a lot differently than anybody else around, because we actually want to walk alongside you and support you every step of the way. We concierge you for everything. So we want to make sure that you are getting the right supports and the right help that you need. I totally forgot to look at my chat. So if you are here, say hey in the chat, and I am here. But if you have heart health issues in your family, let me know. Like, who is it? Who is it in your family that has heart health issues? In my family, it is I don't know a single person on my dad's side of the family that doesn't have heart disease and or diabetes or some form of that. Alzheimer's, my grandmother died of Alzheimer's. Her blood sugar was fine. Her cholesterol was a little elevated. But I don't believe that God created our bodies on accident. And again, I'm going to say this again and again and again. Cholesterol, God created cholesterol. He created our bodies to create cholesterol. So cholesterol must be good. Okay. And so, where did this whole thing happen where cholesterol became this enemy and this thing that we had to suppress? And when did we like stop thinking and start just believing that heart disease is caused by cholesterol? And when we backtrack, again, I'm kind of going off script here, off my notes, but when we backtrack and we start thinking about cholesterol, cholesterol doesn't just elevate overnight. Okay. I have patients who have come into my clinic and into the wilderness of wellness, and their cholesterol has been fine, everything's been great, like according to traditional medicine. And they end up with me because they're like, oh, my cholesterol is bad. Like, what happened out of nowhere? It happened. No, it didn't. The problem is that we are reading our labs, we're reading our life and what health actually is very differently than what God actually intended. And many of us don't have white space in our calendars. Many of us have swept so much stuff under the rug that we are carrying that low level of inflammation at all times. And then we wonder why our blood pressure starts to raise. We start having cravings. We start having like some fatigue. We start having all of these things that we chalk up to being normal. And now the trend is on the other social media sites that I'm so grateful I'm over here. And yes, I'm spending most of my time here, not on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, thank you for following me, but come here and engage. I feel so much better and more confident sharing with you here and being in community here because that's what the space is. I want to support you in the space of community. But when this whole thing of people think that perimenopause just automatically happens, perimenopause is just a season of life. And so people are like, boom, all this stuff happens to me. No, it doesn't. It adds up over time and it adds up in symptoms that you have chalked up to, oh, an Aleve will take care of that, or oh, an ibuprofen, or oh, a Midol will take care of that, or oh, I'm just going to get the extra big pads this month, or oh, I'm just going to get birth control, or oh, I'm going to just take a Tums or a Mylanta or Rolaids or Pepto. Like, we don't think of these things as being the like down the chain issues of heart disease and diabetes. And so, if you are joining here, I'm so grateful you are here. I'm so grateful to serve you. Tell me in the chat who in your family has heart disease and diabetes. Tell me where this comes from. Do that in the chat. In this space, we comment, we engage so that we can make sure that we're getting the best out of this. But my goal here in this lesson is that I don't want you to think that cholesterol doesn't matter. Okay? Cholesterol absolutely matters because it tells me what is actually going on. It tells me what is actually happening to your body. Like, where, if your cholesterol's raised, okay, what is going on in your life? So I need to know your story. And this is the problem, is that many traditional medicine places will rush you through a 10-minute visit and they don't care about your story. They already have an agenda coming to you. However, uh, um, allopathic, so that's allopathic, and then holistic functional medicine is the same way. People are doing the same way, and other places, other practitioners I know and adore and are amazing practitioners are creating bots because they don't know how to do all of this that we do here. They do not know how to walk alongside you. They do not know how to actually coach you in the spiritual realm, in the God honoring pieces of your life, the relationships that you have, the wanting to show up to worship and not like having the spirit to worship, not having the gumption to worship, and dealing with like, okay, so this happened, my husband feels or said this and it made me feel this way, or I'm taking care of everybody else, I don't know how to do this. Like, we have to be able to walk alongside one another, your practitioner and team, in order to achieve health. Never once did God say in scripture that you are supposed to go to AI or do it all alone. Not at all. So why are we going to AI? Why are we going to influencers, the 23-year-old get ready with me influencers, and doing what they're telling us to do? I do not have the perfect body. I don't have the perfect life. I don't have the perfect lifestyle. In fact, I understand it because I'm living it alongside you, and so is my team. In fact, my team takes off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in order to prioritize their workouts, prioritize their meal planning and prepping and all the things, and spending time with their family and spending time in worship with God, because we know that life gets ahead of us and it raises our blood pressure, our blood sugar, our cholesterol. And it's very interesting to me that when we think of health, we think of going into a facility, someone telling us what to do, and they're like, I'm going to try. But then life gets away. That is what community is for, and that's why the Wilderness of Wellness exists. The Wilderness of Wellness exists for the premier Christian experience for education and accountability and teaching and walking alongside you to support you in your foundational health. You see, I don't subscribe to a nutritionist, and I don't subscribe to like having to have a nutritionist and a workout personal trainer and a functional holistic doctor. I have it all in one place. I have it all in one place, including discipleship support throughout all of this. We actually have a discipleship lead on the team that is in there praying over you. We take prayer requests. We actually pray over you as a team every Monday, every Monday. And that is something that changes everything. Because when your heart is ready and warm and ready for change, and you are convicted that you are not living set apart and set free that Jesus gave us, when you are not convicted of that, it's shown by your habits. Your habits show me that you want to live more like culture because it's easy. Your habits show me where you're going in your health in 20, 30, 40 years. Your habits tell me who and what you serve. And your habits also tell me, are you ready to change? Because truthfully, the caliber of woman that works with us inside Wilderness of Wellness, so freaking smart, so freaking smart, and loves Jesus with everything she has. There's a men's version coming soon, but she loves Jesus with everything she has. But this seems to be a missing link in integrity of God growing her. And she's always she's always been praying for a sign of like, okay, I need a sign on how do I take care of my health? How do I take care of this? How do I get ahead of my health? How do I finally do this? And that is in the Wilderness of Wellness. Like I said, if you upgrade to paid here, I'm offering you 20% off of the Wilderness of Wellness membership. And you can also at this time get a free 30-minute one-to-one call with one of my coaches so that you have that intake, know exactly where you start in my pathway. You see, the way I think, the way I do things is so differently. I actually created the Dr. Danielle Foundational Root Cause Pathway. I need to shorten that a little bit, but it is mine. It's my brain and how I think. And I have your nutrition and lifestyle pieces. Like, how are you supposed to, deal with changing the mindset? How are you supposed to handle nutrition and sleep and stress and blood sugar and all of that? How are you supposed, in your digestion, how are you supposed to handle breaking the cycles that you've gotten yourself into? How are you supposed to show up and live out health? All of that's in there alongside my roadmap to health, which is supplemental. And you can use supplements in there to support you, to force the body to do the work itself. In this space, I do not supplement forever and ever and ever. There are lots of people, lots of practitioners that throw tons and tons of supplements on your plate. I don't. I'm like, no organ of mine gets a free ride. No organ of mine gets a free ride, and no organ of yours gets a free ride. Hello to those of you popping in. I'm so grateful you are here. We are talking about cholesterol and all the things. And so, but no organ gets a free ride. So you get both and you get my functional health toolkit. So if we need to fine tune things, you have the functional health toolkit that will walk you through that. So as we keep going, I just want you to know that I think in my professional opinion, cholesterol has been weaponized against us. And what I mean by that is that we have been weaponized to think that cholesterol is something that we can't control. So thus we are deficient in cholesterol medicine, like a statin. Okay. And I think that we need to come to a place where we finally demand more. We demand better, and we demand, again, organs doing the jobs themselves, and we demand an actual real answer of what is causing our cholesterol to be high. And I just noticed, by the way, someone got their labs done for me last week from another lab company and sent them in. And I was like, oh, interesting. They've already changed the lab numbers of what is acceptable for cholesterol. And I was like, that's interesting. Why does traditional medicine have to keep changing what's acceptable and what's not for their cholesterol levels, or for any of their labs, quite frankly? My lab numbers and ranges don't change. So there's that. So what I want you to think about when it comes to cholesterol is that cholesterol has a lot of jobs. I already started this session out by talking about how cholesterol it was designed by God. He gave it to us. He gave us liver that would create cholesterol. We have cholesterol in our skin so that when we go out in the sun, the cholesterol turns that vitamin D, or I'm sorry, that UV rays from the sun into vitamin D. Vitamin D is a hormone. I don't take vitamin D because vitamin D is a hormone. I go outside and get it. And we can talk about that another time. That's a whole nother conversation. However, If God created the cholesterol for us, our body clearly needs it. Okay. If you have an issue with cholesterol, I want you to think about cholesterol is not the problem. It just happens to be at the happens to be at at the scene of the crime. Because without cholesterol and enough cholesterol, your hormones are going to suffer. Cholesterol actually creates your hormones, your sex hormones specifically. It creates those. It is the precursor to make healthy sex hormones. So if you are on a statin, a lot of my guys, specifically my guys, have ED and they have prostate issues and they have low T because they're on a statin. And I can't stand my men having a testosterone score, I don't care how old you are, of less than 600. My men all have testosterone scores of at least 600 to 1200 because that tells me that their cholesterol is working well, that their whole systems are working well. The afternoon itchiness that men get, the depression that men get in the afternoon, that's a problem. Their like the ED issues or just not even being having any kind of libido is a problem for my men, and that's usually stemming from having cholesterol use or former cholesterol or not cholesterol use, statin use. And so we talk through that, we get through that. My men thrive, and I can't stand it when their skin looks so amazing, better than mine. I'm like, guys, it's not fair. But anyway, so that is my men. Women tend to have estrogen dominance when and low progesterone if or and ovulatory cycles when they have low cholesterol and high statin use as well. So cholesterol helps make the hormones. It also helps to make the cell membrane. So the wall, the cell, like we don't have cell walls, we have cell membranes, and cell membranes are made of cholesterol. Cell membranes are what let in and out the toxins, like or the nutrients. The cell membrane must be just the right texture in order to work. Otherwise, it creates calcifications. Interesting, huh? It is needed to make vitamin D. I already told you that. It helps to make bile acids so we can digest fats. So sometimes if you eat fatty food, you should have enough cholesterol in your body to create bile to emulsify your fatty food and absorb all of your nutrients. It even is there for tissue repair. I want to talk about this real quick because tissue repair and inflammation is part of this cholesterol conversation, isn't it? And so when you think of tissue repair, I want you to think of, so I played softball. I was a starting pitcher all through high school, got an offer for college, did not take it because I just needed to focus on some other things. But with that said, I slid a lot. I slid into the different bases. I slid home a lot, and I would get those things that we called like road rash or cherries or whatever you want to call them. And so my skin on my legs would be open. And what would happen is like that little scab would cut, or it wouldn't be a scab yet. It would be like this wet, sticky, white substance on top of my skin. If you all know what I'm talking about, say that down below in the chat. Remember, if you were on replay, make sure you are chatting down below so we can engage with you. We are not here to just speak at you. We want you to be part of this conversation as well. So that little cherry, the white stuff on top is cholesterol. It is what brings the white blood cells. It is what brings the plasma. It's what brings and supports and protects all of that nourish or that nutrient there so that it can then build the scab over the top. Now think about internally. Think about internally, your blood sugar's been on a roller coaster. Someone, if you're an Ohio driver and you made me mad, like my cholesterol is going to raise, I'm going to have inflammation, I'm going to have all these things. If you have a very stressful season of life, you're not sleeping well, all of inflammation and the inability to heal inside your body. So what we're thinking about is where, if your cholesterol is raising, there is some kind of inflammation in your body somewhere along the way. And it is bringing healing nutrients to that area. And if it can't heal, it becomes plaque. It becomes that hard calcified plaque. And this is seen in a lot of my African American folks, my friends, my family. We all have this in our family genetics because of quote unquote how we eat, but it's not how we eat. I grew up with Southern cooking. I grew up with up in Northern Indiana, but I grew up with like Southern home cooked food. Like I ate the greens, I ate the lard. I still do, by the way. I had to get back to that lifestyle. It is not your culture's food problem. Cholesterol, yes, you're going to ingest some cholesterol problem like from your food. No big deal. The question is, why can you not get it out? Why are you not pooping it out? Why are you not getting rid of it out of the body? It is not your culture's food problem. It is a problem of stress. And I want to talk to my African American community here. I don't realize I'm coming to you as your Caucasian sister, but I want to talk to you here because I see this all the time in the clinic and my heart breaks. My heart breaks because it's like everyone at the traditional medicine office, I've got tears in my eyes. Everyone at the traditional medicine office treats my African American sisters and brothers like, oh, here's your statin. Let's just throw it on there. Like it's not even a question of your lifestyle. It's not even a question of your stress. It's like, oh, they see you and they hand you the statin and they automatically think that there's a heart problem. Cholesterol is not from a heart problem. Cholesterol is from what everybody else does, shoves things under the rug, and we don't deal with it. Family upbringing, for not surrendering things, not having a safe space to talk things out, not having the ability to reach out for healthcare, which is why the Wilderness of Wellness exists, guys. The Wilderness of Wellness exists because you need access to a healthcare team that sees you, sees your story, and can support you right where you are. It is not fair for anybody of any culture to be treated a certain way because of how you look, where you come from, where you doctor, nothing. God designed this body. Now it's my turn to learn how to steward it well. That's the mindset shift. That's why I'm offering 20% off of the Wilderness of Wellness if you upgrade to paid. And if you join the Wilderness of Wellness, even if you don't upgrade, that's totally fine. If you join the Wilderness of Wellness, even monthly, it's only $75 a month or $750 for the year. If you join right now, you also get a 30-minute one-to-one consultation with my coaching team and my clinician team. And so that you know exactly where you are starting in my pathway that will get you the best and fastest results possible because you deserve this. We should and need to stop settling for less than true white glove care when it comes to our health. Because quite frankly, the whole goal of us even participating in health and health activities and getting better and optimizing our health is so that we can make disciples who make disciples when we are 80 and 90, be actively participating in that. I don't know about you, but yeah, I want to be climbing mountains when I'm 80. But are my habits and my things that I'm doing right now, is my health status right now going to get me there when I'm 80 and 90 years old? Those are the questions we're asking here. So when it comes down to cholesterol, when it comes down to everything, when it comes down to being targeted for your heart health, for everything else in your life, I want you to think about, am I stewarding my body well? I want you to think about, how have I been taught to think about my body? How have I been taught that, and what have I learned that food does for my body? And really sit down with it and head into the chat, head into the letters from the wilderness, head into that chat, and let's discuss this. Let's discuss this because I want to know, what were you taught? Were you taught your greens were bad? Were you taught your fried chicken was bad? Maybe this is just my food. Were you taught that your beef and noodles were bad? Were you taught that anything but I can't believe it's not butter was bad? Were you taught to not make your pies with lard? Pies with lard are amazing. We make pies with lard in this home. We fry in lard, we use tallow, we use all the things. We go to the butcher and get it for like next to nothing. My thought though is, if you are fighting every single day for your health and you aren't sure how this all works, you need community. You can go to AI and ask AI all the questions you want, but it can't hold you accountable. It cannot experience the human experience because it's not human. It cannot help you see holes in your mindset and your thought and the other perspective. It can't help you see that. The best AI prompt for your health is not going to help you. And like I said, I have many other practitioner friends that are using bots to replace them, and you would never know. You would never know because they don't treat the way I do. And I love them dearly. They're great clinicians. But this is a mission that's much deeper than just treating to a test. Do I run advanced labs? Absolutely, I do when I need to. About 80% of the time, I don't need to run advanced labs if you follow my pathway. It's found in the wilderness of wellness. This is all about changing your mindset, really getting that mindset shift of like, oh, this body, I understand that the Holy Spirit lives in it. I understand that, but now it's to live it out. To create, we would never leave trash at our church place of worship, home, like there. We would never leave trash on the floor. We would never treat it. We treat it with reverence. We treat it with like, oh, let me just pick that up. I see that some trash is sitting there. We treat it with awe. We treat it with sanctity. We treat it with honor. Why are we not treating this with that same thing? Remember, the war is not between flesh and blood. That means your enemy is not your body. Your enemy is of the darkness and principalities that we can't even see, but we know exist and we have experienced that push us and fight against us and all of that. I would love to have you here. I would love to continue this conversation in the Substack chat. So if you want to come over in the chat, I would love to hear you, have you continue the conversation. Tell me what you have learned from this, what maybe I encourage you to think differently. Tell me in the chat, guys. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'm so glad my audio worked this time. Have a good one.